We are going to move from Brooklyn. We're going to move it to Texas. We're going to stay in the boxing world. This was an MVP, Jake Paul Promotions. They had a card there. And this was Sebastian Juárez versus Demarcus Layton. One of the craziest rounds, definitely I've watched in 2025. One of the craziest rounds you're ever going to watch. Just want to give another shout out to our community, the Ropes. They pointed us this way. We got real boxing fans in there. And our buddy Matt said, hey, this was chaos. You got to take a peek. You got to watch it. We did. I'm glad.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. And it was worth it. I'll just start off by saying this, bud. When I tuned in to see it, I was no surprise that in the middle of the chaos, Laurence Cole, and as far as I can remember, Friday Night Fights as a little kid, anytime there was chaos, controversy, whatever word you want to use, and there was fights in Texas, Laurence Cole was usually in the middle of it. And there he was again. Out of control. I mean, Layton drops Juárez in the first round, and the fight should have been over. The guy was gone. He didn't know where he was. He was trying to walk towards Layton instead of taking his count. He gave him a long time to recover. He took away some points from him for holding while the guy was hurt, trying to recover, which gave him some more time to recover, and he did recover. Juárez turns the tide, hurts Layton, and winds up getting the knockout stoppage in the first round. I think when he dropped him, there was 8 seconds left. It seemed like that round, that last 8 seconds lasted another 20 seconds. Just complete pandemonium. Just want to hear your takes. It was a wild scene there.
I don't know what the time was. Was that the time, Bud? Because I didn't see the time clock. Is that accurate? If that's accurate, there was a lot condensed into a short period of time. That's for sure. They should do a commercial on traveling, like get a good travel agent. We can condense a lot of stuff into a short period of time. You wanna do a month's worth of adventures in 2 days? Come to us. We'll get it. And by the way, come to Cole Travel Agency. We will get it done for you. We'll condense it all together. Look, Laurence Cole, he's been around a long time. He's a veteran referee, and he reffed all the big fights in Texas because his father was the commissioner, Dickie Cole. Yeah, it wasn't hard to figure out why. And God bless his father. He's not here no more, but he held down that state as the commissioner there for years. His son was obviously put forward to be a top ref. He was his son, and he's been involved in some stuff. But this was for the highlight reel. I mean, this is stuff that was up there in real. There's crazy stuff and there's loony bin stuff. This was loony bin stuff. This was more loony bin than just your average crazy night. We had a crazy night, but but then. Kind of like what movie is it? Well, when you start, what was that? In Las Vegas with Tyson made his debut in the movies? That was a crazy movie. The Hangover. Yeah, when it gets crazy is when you're like, whatever he was doing with the tiger, when Tyson got a little crazy, that's when it gets crazy. Or when you start wearing somebody else's underwear on your head, that's when you're going to beyond crazy. You're going to Twilight Zone, Looneyville, and this was when he started taking the points away. I mean, first of all, you got Juárez, who's undefeated. Layton had a few losses, and Juárez is the big favorite. And you got Juárez from Texas, by the way. If you want to figure that in, I don't know, but he's from Texas. And he's walking in with a jab too close. You can't jab too close because you leave a window open. It's like leaving a door open for something to come in. That something happens to be a right hand. I've been saying that for 100 years and teaching that. So you got to jab from a proper distance where you get full extension so you're safe. not to get countered with the right hand. You don't leave the door open for the right hand, basically, right? So he comes in, he just comes in, and he throws the jab too close, and the right hand comes over. He doesn't see it. He gets dropped. He gets hurt. He gets dropped twice. And he's trying to survive. What do you do when you try to survive? You hold on. You hold on. Well, Laurence Cole said no. And I don't know if you want to try to figure out whatever. I mean, I can't go there. You have to go there. But the facts are he took him points away twice. That was unusual. To do that quick in that situation, the guy's trying to survive. It's not like he's been grabbing, punching and clutching all night long, disrupting the rhythm of the fight all night long, and you have to take points away at some point. It wasn't that kind of scenario. It hadn't gotten there. It was the first round. So he takes points away twice. What happens in the end, it doesn't matter if that becomes a 10-7 round or whatever the hell it becomes. At that point, all that matters is he gets the time to recover. And he recovered. And give Juárez credit. It reminded me a little bit of Arturo Gatti, who used to recover. His recovery abilities were incredible. The way that Arturo Gatti used to get hurt, and then seconds later, he'd be recovered and he'd be hurting the other guy. It really was incredible, his ability to do that. So, Juárez...
His ability to recover was aided by Laurence Cole.
I'm talking about Gatti right now, that he reminded me a little bit of Arturo Gatti in that way. But you're right. But he still recovered. It was still pretty incredible. But you're right. It was like being given back-to-back 8 counts, and then giving it again. Instead of giving your regular 8 count, he gave 2 or 3 of them. I mean, he gave him that extra time to recover. And recover he did. He did. I mean, look, you could talk about these things happen sometimes, like the Corrales-Castillo fight. That first fight was incredible. Like Mickey Ward and Gatti, their first fight. It was historic. It was iconic. And as great as Corrales was to come back, oh my goodness, to come back in that fight, he was aided by him spitting out his mouthpiece and getting a little extra time when he spit out the mouthpiece, and the referee had to put it back in. That did give Corrales a little extra time to recover, and he came back and he wound up knocking out Castillo. Look, the referee with those crazy moments gave Juárez credit, gave him back credit, gave him time. He needed time. Like that great movie, Man on Fire. Well, what do you want? I want time. I'm sorry, I got no time for you. But Cole was different. He said, okay, I give you time. Okay, you got time. I got time. You got time. At the end, I always talk about when you see a knockout, when you see a knockdown, I always talk about that it always happens from a flaw, a technical flaw. And again, the same one. Where are the teachers? Juárez threw a left hook. Layton threw a left hook now in front. He led with the left hook in front, and Juárez, a recovered Juárez, beats him to it with a straight right hand. Right inside that left hook. Straight beats round. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Straight beats round. You throw a left hook in front of a man, he can beat you with the straight right hand. And that's what Juárez did when Layton left, again, a door open for that punch. So at the end of the day, crazy, crazy, crazy round. Juárez stays undefeated. Who would have thought that he'd be thanking the referee for taking points away twice? When would you think that would be a possibility? That you're going to thank, after a fight, you're going to say, thank you, Mr. Ref, for taking those points away. Not once, but twice in a round.
No, absolutely. And if that fight didn't end in the first round, I would have loved to see what that scorecard looks like. I don't think I've ever seen a scorecard that would have had some of those numbers that they would have had to have after that first round.
Yeah, because you had to get it down. You had to get it down to 10-7. Let's start with that. After the second knockdown, it's a let's say it's a 10-7 round, right? And it's possible. It could still be 10-8, but it could possibly be 10-7 with 2 knockdowns. Then you take a point away. All right, it's 10-6. Then you take another point away. It's 10-5. We're running out of points, guys. And now the other guy scores 2 knockdowns. So, I don't know. You figure it out. You went further in school than I did, Bud. You went to college. I didn't. You figure that out.